Hi and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be playing a getting to know me game, so I hope you're excited. So if you like this kind of content and other homeschool content, please remember to subscribe and let's get to know me. Okay, this video is an open collaboration video with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way, and this is my second year doing this with them. And I have really enjoyed it because there'll be a playlist linked down below of other homeschool moms that you can get to know them, but also throughout the whole year, every single month, there'll be different topics they're talking about, and it will show that there's no one right way to do homeschool, okay? There's a lot of different ways to do it. So if you're kind of struggling or not sure what to do, check out the playlist. They'll give you so many different ideas, but it's also just given me ideas of what I could film for you. And so I've really loved it that way. So today is a getting to know you game. I guess it's a game. It's the homeschool this or that. And so they created a list for us, and I'll make sure that this is linked down below too if you want to participate in the collaboration. And so I'm gonna go through these things and you get to pick one, and I'm gonna tell you what it is, and we'll get to know me a little bit better. Okay, so in the rules it says you have to choose one. You can't pick both or probably something different. I don't know, but I'm already gonna break the rule on the first one because it says coffee or tea, and I don't drink either of those things. I just drink water almost all the time. That's basically all I drink. And I have never tried coffee. As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I don't drink coffee at all. Some herbal teas I've tried, but I really just don't like hot drinks. I don't really like cold drinks either, except water. But I don't even like hot chocolate, or anything like that really. And so I just choose to drink water all the time. So sorry that I broke the rule on that one, but I don't drink either of those things. I just like ice cold water. Even when it's cold outside in the wintertime, I just want ice cold water. And so the next one is early bird or night owl. I am definitely an early bird. I'd rather get up early in the morning and get going. I love that feeling at 9 o'clock, feeling like in the morning, not at night, 9 o'clock in the morning, feeling like I've already accomplished so much, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with the rest of my day? And obviously there's always so much to do. I can stay up late, but honestly, I haven't stayed up really past 11 in a really long time, besides taking care of a baby recently. But I prefer going to bed usually by 10:30 is about when I'm in bed. And for some people that might be super late, but I would rather get up early. And then paper planning or digital planning. I am definitely a paper planner. I love having planners. I love having things I can cross off or check, a list. And I'm more likely to use them because if I put stuff visually where I can see them, I'll remember to do it. So if my planner is sitting on the counter and then I'm like, oh, okay, what have I done today? What can I check off? All that kind of stuff. When it's on my computer, it's just a lot harder for me to remember to do things. And so I am definitely a paper planner. And then one homeschool method or eclectic. And I would say probably eclectic. I am not super familiar with a lot of the homeschool methods. I know what some of them are, but I don't know what all of them mean. And so we kind of just pick and choose what works best for us and go with that, and don't necessarily tie ourselves to one thing. And with some of my kids, certain methods or ideas work better than other things. So I would say we're more eclectic. And I skipped one. We better go back. Plan ahead or plan from behind. I would probably say I'm more plan ahead. I don't even know exactly what plan from behind means or what they intended to mean here, but I like to just know what's going on. I like to have a plan, and it's not perfect. There are some things that we don't plan for and whatnot, but there are certain things I like to just get down a list, get down what we need to be doing for the month or what I need to be doing for the month so that I don't miss anything. So that's I prefer to plan ahead because it also is less stressful for me when I know what's happening. And then homeschool hoarder or minimalist. This one's a little bit tricky for me because by nature I am become more of a minimalist. And I like stuff clean and organized. I know you can still have lots of stuff and it be clean and organized, but I like stuff clean and organized. And as my kids have gotten older, I have become more of a minimalist in a lot of things. I'm like, we don't need this much stuff. My kids wish I wasn't because they like to hoard stuff. So when we have to clean stuff out, they wish I wasn't a minimalist, but we do have a fair amount of homeschool stuff. And so that's the tricky part where I'm like, would I be considered a homeschool hoarder because of how much stuff we have? But I also have a lot of kids that we homeschool and they're at various ages. So we have a lot of different things that cater to different ages. And I keep the things that we're already done with right now because I have younger kids that will eventually use them, right? So in some ways that could be considered hoarding, I guess. I don't know. I would consider myself a minimalist, not in the way that some minimalists do, so no one attack me for that, but that's what I would consider myself. And then crayons or markers. I'd probably say markers. I don't love crayons. I don't love how don't keep a point on them. You know, I know markers can get dull or the color can run out and stuff like that, but I really love the Flair pens. I can't remember what brand they are, but Pentel, I think, Flair pens. I really love drawing with those, but if I had to choose like what I wanted to do art with or whatever, I would choose markers over crayons. And then a whiteboard or a chalkboard. So I would choose whiteboard because I cannot stand the mess of chalk. I love the look of a clean black chalkboard. So I just filmed an updated homeschool room tour of this room right here. And I wanted to do our whiteboard with a chalkboard just because I like the black. I like the black look better with the frame, like a stained frame around it. But I do not like the mess or the sound of chalk. And so I would prefer a whiteboard for those reasons. So that's why we have a whiteboard and not a chalkboard. And then games or puzzles. So for homeschool, I would pick games. I have one kid that really loves puzzles, and I personally love puzzles over games, but for homeschool, I feel like more game schooling type stuff, I would pick doing games and things like that with my kids over doing puzzles. And screens or no screens, I would gravitate more towards no screens. We do have some things we do with screens, or some games we do, or some programs we use, but I do not like having my kids in front of a screen all day long. And so I try to pick curriculum that is more like you're using your hands and pencils, like real things to do your schoolwork and not just clicking buttons and looking at a screen all day long. So that's kind of where I fall with that. Pajamas all day or get dressed. This one's a little funny because my kids probably would say I wear my pajamas all day because I basically wear the same things to bed that I wear during the day, like t-shirts and joggers or t-shirts and basketball shorts. And so then I will shower, like I'll work out and shower and change, but it's like I'm wearing my pajamas all day because it's the same thing I wear to bed. And so I just like that. It's more comfortable for me. When I'm at home chasing kids around, I like to be comfortable, and also when they're like making messes, I don't want to worry about getting nice clothes all gross and stuff like that. So I'll put on nicer clothes to film for you. I'm still wearing joggers. Sometimes I'm wearing basketball shorts because you can't see them. But today I put on a nicer shirt for you, but this is actually comfortable, so I would wear this all day long, so I don't mind this. But I still get dressed, but I basically wear my pajamas all day. Read aloud or independent reading for our homeschool. This one's kind of tricky. I think it's super fun to read aloud to my kids, even though sometimes it hurts my voice to read so much. But I enjoy that. I enjoy being able to talk to them, like to know what they're reading about, because some of the independent reading stuff they do, I maybe haven't read the book. Some of them I have, or I read them a long time ago, or my husband has read them, so it's harder for me to ask questions because I don't really know what's going on, or I have to like look up what the book's even about. And so the read alouds are fun because we can talk about them as we go. So in that way, since we can discuss them more, I would pick a read aloud over independent reading. Okay, what is the next one? So classic or modern literature? Definitely modern literature. Classic is not my favorite. And I don't know if this is like going to public school thing, like a lot of the books we read were classic literature and we had to be tested on them. We had to write all those reports. Maybe if I just read them at that time for just the fun of reading them, maybe it would have been different. But there was only a few that I sort of liked. Most of them it was just not a good experience for me because I was so stressed when I was reading it because my reading comprehension is not so great that I just didn't have fun reading it and didn't want to. And so maybe if I didn't have that background, like with classic literature, I'd be a little bit better about it. But I prefer modern literature. Most of what I read is more modern literature. And then science or history. This is another tricky one for me because I don't love the way that history is taught. I love history, but I don't always love the way that it's taught. And so I love learning about the people in history. So I read a lot of historical fiction type books, and those are some of my favorite things to read. But I don't love just sitting down and being like, this war happened here, and this war happened here, and this was the leader, and like, I don't think that's fun. And so neither science or history are my favorite subjects. Math is my favorite for sure. By a long stretch, math is my favorite. But as far as in homeschool, probably science, just because it's a little bit more fun to do with my kids. They enjoy it a little bit more. And if we have like experiments to do, they think those things are a lot of fun. And then I just love the Good and the Beautiful science units. It gives us a variety of things to talk about. So that's probably what I'd pick. And then art or music. I'm not great at either one. I like to do crafts. I don't know what category that would fall under. But in homeschool, my kids love doing art. They all do some sort of music, but they probably pick art. Like they love drawing and they love doing watercolors and pulling all that stuff out. So we'd probably pick art. Nature study or poetry tea time. I would pick nature study, and sometimes my kids would pick nature study, but we do lemonade time, not poetry tea time, because I don't like tea. And so there we go. But I think my kids like lemonade time just because they get all these treats and get to have a lot of fun with that. But we also love to be outside, so I would choose nature study over poetry tea time. And then lunch with kids or lunch alone. Totally lunch alone. I usually always feed my kids, and then after everyone's kind of cleared out or the baby's down for a nap or everyone's just kind of quiet, then I'll eat, because otherwise I'm like up and grabbing stuff for them or trying to get everything. And I do the same thing a lot of times for dinner. Like I'll sit down with everyone for dinner, and now I usually am feeding a baby during dinner and getting him ready for bed. But I'll sit down and participate, but I'm always up and down getting people food or more of something or whatever. And so I usually don't get to even eat my food, and it's cold anyway, so I might as well wait. So I usually just do it by myself to just have those minutes, like just to decompress and be alone and eat my food. School at the table or school all over the house. I prefer keeping school at the table or like in one spot. I do not like, if we need to have kids around the house, like if they are getting too distracted, that's fine. We can put them someplace else and they can do their work, but I don't love having everything spread throughout the whole house. I like to try to keep it isolated to here, or sometimes the kitchen table, again, if we need someone to do a different project out there and be separate so they're not distracted or distracting others, then that's fine. But I don't like a huge mess all over the place, so I'd rather keep it here. And then take summers off or school year round. So we are more lax during the summer, but we basically have been schooling all year round. We don't do all the subjects through the summer. We basically get done when our public school here gets done around Memorial Day, and then we don't start until after Labor Day. So we have a huge chunk of time where we're more lax and just mostly doing math and reading is what we did this summer, because those are the things that are most important to me and my husband. Those are the things that we love to do. And so that's what we want to do during the summer, is do reading and math. And so that's what we did. So we school basically all year round. It's just more lax in the summer. And then the last one is mummify a chicken or dissect a frog. And immediately I would say no to either of those. I would not pick either. Again, I'm breaking the rules, but I cannot no on either of those things. I hated biology in high school. I was in an honors bio class, and so I think we only dissected one thing, and I can't even, it's like worms or something. And I helped participate, but I think the boys were the ones that cut the worms open, which they were totally game for. And then the regular biology class I think, dissected frogs and stuff like that. But either of those things, no. My kids will not be doing those things unless their dad wants to do them with them, because I just think it's so gross. It will make me throw up, and I do not want to be involved in it in any way. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this getting to know me game. I thought it was a lot of fun. And remember to check out the playlist down below to get to know other homeschool moms, and to also see the content that they're gonna have in the next coming months as we go through these different topics. And remember to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.